Let's talk FNAF. In case you are not part of the video game market or you've been living under a rock for the last year or so, you've heard of this. The new game to send shivers down the spindly spider web of horror genres. It was rocketed into popularity by YouTubers playing it, screaming like little tiny babies and getting all of the views. I remember seeing some Let's Plays about it, but never checking them out, but FNAF, being the gaming giant it is, found me anyway. It was praised everywhere. So scary. Almost peed myself 12 out of 10. Almost had a heart attack. Scott Cawthon, the creator of FNAF, had almost given up on game development when his last game received mixed reviews. People said the happy beaver folk looked disturbingly like animatronics. Scott had been making Christian kid games up to this point, and I can only imagine him laying in bed with these negative reviews swimming through his head when suddenly, pop! I could do something with this. Why don't I make it scary on purpose? That's what I imagine Scott to sound like. Why don't I make a horror game about animatronics? And so, after August 8th, 2014, the internet was graced with this new IP. Actually, let me rephrase that. The internet exploded with this new IP. Only boosted by its good use for reaction videos on YouTube. I never played it, but I watched all sorts of things about it. Theories, Let's Plays. I pretty much knew what I was in for when I finally picked up the game. And by this time, FNAF 3 was already out. I set up to do a video about it, ready to scare myself to death and make the audience laugh to death as well. Basically, I wanted everyone dead. Background. I'm a wuss. When it comes to horror games, I start them up and leave immediately, just like nope, 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 nope. So, rightfully, I expected a good scare. So, I started the game, and 30 minutes later, I realized something. Something that could get me killed for expressing on the internet. FNAF was not scary. That's right. I said it. FNAF isn't scary. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold the pitchforks and torches until after I explain myself. To me, there are three key things that make up a good horror game. 1. Gameplay. 2. Atmosphere. And 3. Story. Now, first of all, gameplay. Does the enemy feel like it could kill you? Are you vulnerable? Do you just start again right back to where you were? Or is there a severe penalty for dying, giving you a more reason to fear it? Slender made it so you could run very little and were very slow. With Slender behind you, you would just want to hightail it out of there, but the game devs want to keep you in a constant state of terror, so you're incredibly slow. And just when you think he's gone, BAM! Very effective. You can't be truly scared, however, unless you're immersed. Therefore, atmosphere. Because otherwise, you're just sitting in a chair, staring at a screen aside from exploring dark, strange woods, with mysterious noises caressing your ears and reality bending around you as you feel breath on your neck from an monster. Now, the best way to achieve this is a good atmosphere. Get some fog and dreary music, get some tilted lighting and unearthly noises, or in extreme cases, get the Oculus Rift. Immerse a player, convince them that they are in this world you've created, make them fear for their life. A good horror game will make you tense, and make you try as hard as you can to avoid the monster in question. And atmosphere plays a big part in that. Could you imagine if Slender was in full daylight and he sang a silly song every time he talked to you? No, it's not even slightly scary, even though the game mechanics remain exactly the same. But a horror game is nothing without some creepy backstory to set it up. Name one horror movie or game that didn't have some tragic and terrifying backstory, but the story is part of the build-up to the monster reveal. They don't reveal anything to keep you on edge, keep you wondering where, what, and why. Where is it? What is it? And why is it after me? If things are kept in the dark, there's the fear of the unknown factored in. Think of some huge spider that you find in a room. You scream and run to find something to kill it with, but when you come back, it's gone. It could be anywhere. It could even be on you right now. You have no idea, and then you lose your mind trying to put your mind at peace, trying to find it, knowing that you don't want to. First thing that happens on your new job as security guard at Freddy's, the phone rings. The retired security guard has left a pre-recorded message for us, giving us instructions about how to do our job. He tells us the building has limited power. Okay, so far the game is succeeding, a creepy setting, and a handicap. Then, he tells us the animatronics might think we are a naked endoskeleton and might want to stuff us in a suit, but obviously it won't fit with all the crossbars and wires, especially in the head area. Now this is the first mistake. The phone guy tells us exactly what the animatronics are and what their goal is in painstaking detail. Instead of just leaving us an anxious mystery, he leaves us with all the information up front. Now, wouldn't it have been better if the phone line cut out right as he was just about to warn us about the animatronics? So when the first one shows up at our door, we would close the door out of our own intuition instead of because the game told us to. There's no build-up, just a desk and a phone call, and then boom! Jump scare. The game's biggest flaw. A sudden horrible image accompanied with a loud noise will startle anyone, but when executed right, you can scare someone. The key is in the build-up. You set a dense atmosphere hinting at the beast. Eventually, let the audience know it's coming. Hallways with 90-degree corners, forcing you to see what's on the other side, not knowing whether or not to expect a scare. Then, pull the trigger when they least expect it. FNAF, however, leans this scare almost entirely on jump scares, and doesn't do it well. There's no build-up. I mean, sure, you know what's coming, but it's always when you expect it. Several times, you know when you put down your camera, you're going to die. Take Foxy, for example. You see him running down the hall, you close the door. You can see different stages of him coming out of the Pirate's Cove, and have plenty of time to close the door. The power is nice. It's a handicap. But really, its only purpose is to keep you from having the doors closed the entire time, so it's not really a handicap at all. And when the power goes out, you can expect Freddy to show up at the door and jump scare you every single time. But what if it was set up differently? What if it was set up so that he may or may not see you? You have to hide yourself. You can't see a thing, but you can hear him walking into the office, and either he finds you or he moves on and the power restores. Personally, I'd find this much more effective. However, FNAF has a good foothold on its atmosphere. A slightly decrepit dark pizza house with creepy animatronics slinking through the shadows. The deep and airy laugh of Freddy hunting your late night shift as security guard. You could play the entire game without visuals. By sounds alone, you can tell when to close doors, which is actually very effective. The atmosphere is done well, especially with the posters and things changing at random, making you question whether or not it's all real. But the atmosphere still doesn't help much because of one thing: the cameras. You can use the cameras to see everything around the restaurant at any time besides the kitchen, but you know when someone's in the kitchen because they'll be making noise. The only thing you can't see is your office when you flip it up, but this is a problem. You can see all of the animatronics with ease. This completely obliterates any fear of the unknown. I mean, you freak out for half a second and you go, oh, Chica's just in the kitchen making noise. Okay, I'm fine, we're all good here. Honestly, this game's fun factor is entirely reliant on scare, which, as I mentioned, is not there. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Therefore, the game is mundane. Just make sure no animatronics come into your office and stuff you in a suit. It's like a super oversimplified tower defense. The biggest problem with the atmosphere, however, is that you are glued to your chair. You can't move. You can only check the cameras to see where they are. It really does not help much with the immersion. Fun fact, the entire game is actually 2D, just with pre-rendered 3D graphics, much like Donkey Kong Country. But can you imagine having to check all the rooms yourself? Constantly wary of all the monsters around you, limited light and your flashlight is shorting out. It would immerse the player much more and make for a terrifying experience. The story. Scott and FNAF are renowned for being very cryptic about the FNAF story. Never is it spelled out nicely, it's just fed to you in small pieces the average gamer won't see. The only bona fide sort of story is the one MatPat created with evidence from the game. Now sure, it's fun to theorize, but if you just start playing, all the story you get is what the phone guy tells you, when really it's a lot deeper than that. But here's a basic summarization. Some guy murdered some kids and their spirits took control of the animatronics and now try to kill you. Now that's a pretty good theory. If you want to know the whole thing, just going over to MatPat and game theory. He makes lots of great theories based around video games, especially FNAF. So in conclusion, the game isn't fun because it isn't scary. The game isn't scary because it relies on jump scares and a cryptic story only available in Atari-esque minigames. The only thing it has going for it is ruthless difficulty. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, because horror is very difficult. There's never one thing that scares everybody. And the animatronics don't bother me at all, but Slenderman definitely scares me. I can imagine somebody who has some lifetime childhood fear of animatronics being scared by this game, but I'm not personally part of that crowd. Now, I can't speak for the other games. 4 was definitely better, and I've never played 2 or 3, and maybe they're better, but at least for me, I just find 1 too slow and too boring for me to play. It's not scary, so what's the point? Maybe it's just that it's difficult. And sure, that's good, but it's not difficult in a good way, it's just ruthless and unfair. But, that's just my opinion. A game opinion. Thanks for watching. I'm crazy.